What's going on, Detroit Lions fans? Earlier this morning, I went live to talk about more Lions rumors and news, which especially they know their opponent. So I previewed that matchup, and I did a deep dive, which you guys can tune in every single Monday. I'm live here in the morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. But I want to make a video to talk more about the matchup. And I think it's important because, A, Lions fans are excited and they want to, indulge in content when it comes to Lions Commanders. But B, there are things that I've noticed about this Commanders team that I really do want to tell you guys about and kind of get your thoughts on. The Lions got the best draw possible. I mean, besides the Packers, but the Packers, there's no way they were going to win that game against the Eagles. But they got the next best matchup. They got the Commanders. I would much rather have the Commanders than the Rams or the Vikings. And let me explain why. It's not that Lions fans should be fearful of anyone, but I think we can all objectively look at this and say rookie quarterback at Ford Field, yes. A team that is a wonderful story this year, and they're probably just excited to win a playoff game. Yes, I will take that team at Ford Field. Jane Daniels has never been in this type of moment. So it is a favorable matchup for the Lions, and this is why getting the number one seed is so important. That game against the Vikings was so important because you get the rest, you get the week off, you get the worst seed. The Eagles are going to have to draw either the Rams or the Vikings, which we can agree, unless you disagree, are a better team than the Commanders. And the Commanders are a fun team. They're a good team. But last year, they had the number 2 overall pick for a reason. And Dan Quinn, Jane Daniels, they did a wonderful job in free agency, and they've built this fun team. It's a good team. To now they're 12-5. But I don't know if you guys saw that clip of Commanders fans chanting after the win, "We want Detroit. We want Detroit." Okay, let me tell you this. No, you do not. You do not want Detroit. And I'm going to explain why today. The first thing I would bring up is this Commanders defense. Although Dan Quinn's a great defensive mind, and they do have some interesting pieces on defense, and they spent some money in free agency, the reality is this Commanders team allows almost 5 yards a carry. Yes, almost 5 yards a carry. I think it's 4.7, which ranks 28th in the NFL. And you're going to face a Lions team, which they want to run the ball, but they are 9th in run yards per rush, 4.7. 146 yards a game, which ranks 5th in the NFL. I mean, this is a team that wants to run all over you. The Commanders have the 28th. They allow 4.7 yards a carry, which ranks 28th in the NFL. That's a matchup problem for the Commanders. I mean, Saquon Barkley, he's done a number on this team. But Jahmyr Gibbs and with Dave Montgomery back, it's still the best offensive line besides the Eagles. So they're still going to face a very, very tough rushing offense. Not to mention what this passing game can do too. So the Commanders are going to have their hands full defensively. It's going to be very hard to stop this Lions offense. So again, the matchup, the Lions got lucky. And that's not a bad thing, by the way. That's good. You got a favorable matchup, which is what you want. But when I look at the Lions defense against this Commanders offense, the thing that I noticed digging into kind of every game the Commanders played this year, the Commanders were 12-5, okay? 12-5. 3 of the 5 losses, Jaden Daniels rushed for less than 25 yards. Less. 0-3 in those games. So what does that tell you? Well, Jaden Daniels leads the Commanders in rushing. So he is a big part of what they do on the ground. And if he isn't running loose and making plays with his legs, they drop games. Now, the other 2 losses, he actually had a good day on the ground. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. He had 7 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown. And then they lost to the Buccaneers, and he had 16 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. But you know what his touchdown-interception ratio was in that game? Passing? 2-2. So turnovers in the other games. That's what's really going to matter here, guys, is forcing turnovers, containment, which the Lions, I get, have struggled, but turnovers especially. You got to take the ball away. And I think Jane Daniels in Ford Field, he's already going to be overwhelmed as it is, but it's going to be so important. And although I think the Lions should be heavy favorites, although I think they're going to pose problems for this Commanders team, it is a test for the Lions. And let me explain why. The NFC, looking at how it shapes up right now, you have the Lions versus the Commanders and the Eagles facing whoever wins tonight, which I would think the Rams win tonight, and we'll see how this video ages. I think the Rams win tonight, and they give the Eagles some trouble. But I think we could all expect it'll be Eagles-Lions in the NFC Championship game. You're going to be facing a mobile quarterback this week, a mobile quarterback most likely the next week against when you face the Eagles, and you're probably going to face a mobile quarterback in the Super Bowl. If it's Lamar, if it's Josh, maybe it's Patrick Mahomes, which I think it is, but Patrick's pretty mobile. Not as mobile maybe as Josh or Lamar, but you could very well face a mobile quarterback. So that's 3 back-to-back mobile quarterbacks. This, to me, is a good litmus test for the Lions. How do you handle a guy who leads the team in rushing? He's a rookie, but you're going to find out. This run defense is going to be it's going to be more important than ever in this playoff run, because you're going to have Saquon Barkley at some point. You might have James Cook again, Derrick Henry potentially in the Super Bowl. Like, you're going to be facing not only mobile quarterbacks, but some damn good running backs. So this run defense, DJ Reader, I'm looking at you. This run defense has to be stout. Containment's got to be on point. This defense has to continue to create turnovers. Like, all that stuff's going to matter, guys. And I would love your opinion on that. Like, the mobile quarterback thing. Like, it's a litmus test. I think the Lions will pass it, but it's a good feeler for what they'll face. Like, Jalen Hurts does not scare me with his arm, but we know he's mobile. We know Saquon Barkley is what they run on. If he's playing well, they look good. And you very well could face James Cook, like I said, or Derrick Henry. And we saw James Cook this year get 100+ yards on you. So, Lions run defense has to get back to what they are. And they did very well against the Vikings. They allowed a 52-yard run, whatever it was, to Cam Akers. Like, that can't happen, of course. But, I think the run defense is going to be super important. And I think containing Jane Daniels to some extent will be important, because 0-3 in the games he's run for less than 25 yards. Like, they can't make this up. So what do you guys think of the matchup? I think the Lions should be heavily favored. I think they'll take care of the Commanders. But there are things I look at, storylines within the game, that I'm interested in seeing, specifically on defense, really. But comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you think? And just of the Lions and the Commanders matchup. And Commanders fans, we want Detroit. We want Detroit. Yeah, okay. We'll find out Saturday night. Comment down below. We're live tonight, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Check us out and get your merchandise. I'm wearing the Kings of the North hoodie right here. It's got the sleeve on it too. It's wonderful, comfy. You can get it on the store, officialctsports.com. Until tonight, I will catch you. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested, or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.